Hello and welcome to a spicy Burning Questions, as Alex has said. Hi, Diego. Hi, Alex. Welcome to Burning Questions.
That's it.
Thank you.
Good, good. So, guys, it's been a very long week. Feels like it's been a very long week. A lot has happened. And, I thought today maybe let's talk about something that happened, I think, last night, actually, where we saw Mr. Will Smith massage Mr. Chris Rock's. I don't know whether it was the right cheek or the left one. I don't know. But I'll just play a tiny clip and then
The
we'll just
left, I
get
think.
right into it. The left. He should have given him the right, hey?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, let's watch the clip.
Controversy at the Oscars ceremony in Hollywood. Will Smith apparently hit comedian Chris Rock. The comedian had made a joke about Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. A few minutes later, Smith won Best Actor for his performance in King Richard, a film about the father of Venus and Serena Williams. Smith won't be charged over the incident as Rock has declined to file a police report.
Okay, guys, I think I'll stop it there. What are your thoughts? My first question would be, to what extent are comedians allowed to have freedom of speech? So, Alex, maybe you can give a background as to like what kind of joke Chris Rock made, and yeah, we'll take it from there.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess here, Chris Rock made a joke about Will Smith's wife and her hair loss, which is attributed to a disease called alopecia, which can lead to hair loss, and that indeed is the case. And so he took the Mickey out of it, with reference to a action figurine, really. And yeah, so that's where the joke comes from. That's what it was. And then this was the reaction to it.
The reaction to it. Diego, do you think the reaction was called for? Because I think where I've posted the video, you can see Will Smith is chuckling or he's laughing. I personally think it was out of shock that this person just makes such a joke. I don't know. Diego, what do you think?
Well, I think let me first comment on the joke in itself, right? I don't think it goes against the principle of freedom of expression and what comedians are allowed to speak about, right? I think it's a fair thing. Chris Rock is a comedian. I think he can make jokes around such things. But at a human level, I think Chris Rock could have been a bit more compassionate, man. A little bit more compassionate at a human level. But at a principle level, there's really nothing wrong with what he did. He's a comedian. Comedians make jokes out of realistic situations, whether we agree with them or not. But yeah, at a human level, I think he could have done better, much better.
So human level, he could have done better, but as a comedian, he was just doing his job.
I reckon.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Mr. Alex, what do you think about Will Smith's reaction? And the fact that after that smack, he goes on to win an Oscar and he brings out the tears, man. I have a lot to say about that, but I'll give it to you.
No, I think let me throw it back. What do you?
Fam, why would you do that?
What is your?
Why would you do that, man? No, I don't know. Okay, firstly, I'm two ways about it. I think obviously Chris Rock was doing his job in terms of whatever he was joking about. But as Diego has said, at a human level, it was a bit distasteful. You can't joke about someone's, health issues. They didn't ask for that kind of disease. And then Will Smith standing up for his wife, I thought, I think he did a good thing. Because there were a series of videos, or video rather, that I saw of Chris Rock still bashing Jada. So I think it was a build-up of things, that it's like he just hit that one nerve and he was like, I am not going to let this one go. I think that was good. But then what I didn't like is when he was giving his acceptance speech of the Oscar, he's now bringing on the tears, and he didn't really apologize to Chris Rock. He was just like, I could have acted a different way, blah 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 blah. I felt like he was a bit manipulative. And also the fact that no one stopped him when he was going up the stairs. Isn't that like a big production whereby there's security on standby? When someone is on stage, no one else can like disturb them. Do you understand? So is it like, is Will Smith special? At the end of the day, I feel like it's also a case of assault, even though Chris Rock was like, he's not gonna press any charges. But it's just like those dynamics of, is Will Smith special? Are we actually allowed to go around smacking people who've made a joke about the fact that your wife is bald?
Yeah, I think
Like,
what for me, what's important here is like now we're having this discussion, and you know that's why we're talking about it on Burning Questions on a fan platform. Is it's about what are the terms of engagement? Are people able to cordially, obviously people have disagreements all the time, but there are terms of engagement, and there are ways that a civilized society can actually function. And when we see like I'm thinking of issues in Parliament, when politicians start throwing punches and shouting pay back the money and then disrupting the proceedings, things can't an entity can't function when there's violence. And I think that in essence is what's at play here. And for me, and from a fundamental sort of freedom of speech point of view, it's also, it sets a bit of a precedent, it's in terms of who gets reprimanded and who doesn't. And to me, that's fundamental. Chris Rock is hired to make jokes. He's a comedian. It's what comedians do. Obviously, it's an emotional thing. And I think what's important, though, is that you do bring up a bit of the context, sort of in a metaphorical sense. This was maybe a last one jab too far, But in another sense, if you want to outsource your role models to celebrities, there's always a risk that it's going to backfire. But whether we like it or not, celebrities are role models. And I think, this kind of behavior is very, very disappointing. And I think there is an element here.
But wait, fam, a quick one. I think it's all gents here. Now, this question is not directed to me, obviously, But let's say this was your wife and you chilling in in South Africa, SEFTA Awards or something. And who's a South African comedian?
Fan podcast of the year.
Yeah, we've lost Trevor Noah. So I think let's say Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah now cracks a joke about either of your wives, whether Alex or Tiego's wife. What is your reaction? How would you have reacted in this case?
I'd like to think that I would be pretty civil. I mean, we've seen a lot of stuff on social
I'm
media.
sure everyone is going to say, I would have been civil.
Yeah, no, look, I think that's kind of the minimum that one expects. And I think that's why this is such a shock, is because it is so unexpected. The default is to be civil and, take it outside or confront someone afterwards, sit them down. And that's what you come to expect from civil discourse. Obviously,
but what if he's tried sitting him down? What if he's tried sitting him down and it's never worked?
Oh, yeah, I guess that we'll have to wait and see, right? And if it is the case, then and he's gone one step too far. Look, I understand, he's, they've got some interesting dynamics with their marriage that people don't necessarily comprehend. So it's nuanced, and I think that's why it's important to have these discussions. It's not clear cut, but regardless, I think where there's violence, we need to it needs to be condemned.
Some people do deserve a beating, though. But Diego, what are you? What is your chat? Would you defend your wife?
I don't know how I would react to such a situation, right? Because I've never been in such a situation before. But I don't whether I would have reacted the same way Will Smith reacted, or how Alex would react. I think that's neither here or there, really.
Okay.
The important thing is that we have freedom of speech.
Yeah.
And comedians should be allowed to make jokes around real issues like this one. And even though I do feel at a personal level that no, man, jokes should be made within boundaries of love and compassion. And I don't think this joke was made within those boundaries, right? At least the boundaries of compassion. I
But
don't think
now,
the joke
are we saying that for every bad joke that Trevor Noah has made about our politicians, all of them must go smack him? So now, comedians must have love and compassion.
I'm not at all encouraging this making. In fact, I am totally against this making. I think it's I don't think it's the right way to react. But obviously, this is Will Smith. This thing happened instantly. He reacted the way he did.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not sure how I would have reacted. But even if I was to react the way he reacted, it wouldn't make it right. You can't go around beating people. But at the same time, I think, at a human level, at least, like I said, at a human level, I think Chris Rock needs to be a little more compassionate. But obviously, I'm not saying that he should stop making his jokes around realities and everything. If he wants to continue doing what he did, he should definitely go ahead. It's his own right to do so. But at a human level, really, I would appeal to his humanness to say, try to level it down a bit, be a bit more compassionate.
Mbali, if I could add, I think the one thing that the one element to this is that just the last two things I'd like to mention is the one is that this incident occurred before he was awarded Best Actor, right? And I think it is a jab. It is it is obviously demeaning. Comedy can be that. Is that it actually could have been set up for him to be the absolute hero of the night. It's like you get shouted at, you get teased, and yet you come out with literally the most like esteemed prize of the night. And then it just blew it. And I think the last thing is for me is really just that, if we have kids who watch us and then go around the playground just hitting people after they disagree because they I don't know, tease them about their scuffton, then it's a slippery slope from there. And that's why freedom of speech is and it is so important.
Yeah, it definitely is. But is there like what can I call it? Maybe like a boundary or benchmark as to like this is where freedom of speech ends? Or is it like an ongoing thing whereby a person is allowed to say anything about whoever they want to say, however they want to say it? Either or, anyone can answer this.
Tioko, do you want to have a go first?
I think once you start insulting people, once you start insulting people, that's where the issue is. And once you start saying things that are demeaning, that's where the issue is. Yeah, that's where the buck stops.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it is a tricky one, and I think it's a conversation to be had because I think there's a line between insult and offense, and then obviously things like hate speech and discriminatory language. And I think in South Africa we tread a very fine line when it comes to discriminatory language. There's there was that whole we've had, you can name them. We had Vicky Mongberg, we had Katsavelos, we had Penny Sparrow. These were legal cases, and like there's merits and arguments in each direction. But I think that's the point, is that speech is very delicate. But we need to be very careful before we start censoring people and making precedents for people not feeling comfortable to express themselves. So, and I think it just you don't want people to go around being scared to say stuff. And that's just that's what I fear will happen.
Yeah, no, definitely. Imagine you just walking around being scared because someone might smack you.
Exactly.
But guys, I think we've come to an end of our little spicy episode. And to you at home, don't go around smacking anyone, and don't say things that will get you smacked. Okay. Remember, your freedom is worth fighting for.